I'm glad you're here, Chloe. I've always loved stars.
Why?
They remind us there's so much beauty out there, which we almost never see.
Because we're blinded by what's in front of us.
Exactly.
At least she'll have something from tonight. Hey, check it out.
It's beautiful.
I thought you might like it.
But then I learned the truth. It's all lies. Everything. My entire life. My dad. My mom. The stars we're seeing have already been dead for millions of years. They're all lies. I can't trust any of them. I think you're the only one in the world I can trust. You're 1 in 100 infinities, Chloe Price. My magical Shakespeare fairy.
I'll take it.
In the dead of night, I'll place you in my sleep. And in the morning light, you wake up next to me.
Somehow, I think I always knew.
Like a dream come true, I'll save you where I roam.
Even when I didn't know.
Then follow you back.
That my real mother was gone.
Tell me you can.
The fact that she's here right now, that she came here for me, I think I need to see her. Is that wrong?
Of course not.
Just remind me
I have no idea where to start.
Honestly, I have no idea what's right or wrong in this situation. I just know that whatever you decide, I'm in.
Once we find her, how do I talk to her? What do I say?
After my dad died, I didn't know how to keep talking to him. I still don't. But it doesn't matter. All that matters is that he's there. In my dreams, he's there. And it's so real. It's almost like it's another part of my life. It used to be the only part that mattered.
Maybe I was wrong before. Who cares if the stars are dead? As long as we can still see them, that means they're real. To us. Right?
Right.
Life is Strange just concluded its second season with Before the Storm Episode 3 Hell is Empty, thus concluding Chloe, Rachel, and Max's adolescent adventure through tragedy, endearment, and time. Life is Strange is an episodic story game originally developed by Don't Nod Entertainment and then being adopted by Deck 9 for the prequel Life is Strange Before the Storm. The original game, or season, spanned 5 episodes and took me just over 15 hours to complete. The second only included 3 episodes but surprisingly pushed me to 17 hours of total game time, although I did spend a lot of time contemplating which outfit I wanted Chloe to wear. What does this one look like? This ain't bad. I kind of like the boots actually. Ooh! This is also a good one. This is a hard decision. I like this one. A bonus episode is also planned for the dickless moronic fanboys who get off to plaid shirts and bad storytelling. Regardless of bonus content, the Life is Strange storyline is as concrete as it's going to get, although Season 2 hasn't really tied up any loose ends from the first season. Actually, it's only posed more questions that are yet to be answered. Questions like, does Rachel have powers? It seemed pretty clear at the end of episode 1 in Before the Storm that there was something supernatural happening. There's plenty of speculation about what her powers were going to be. Perhaps the wind picked up because Rachel can control it and has powers similar to Storm from the X-Men. This particular theory is quite popular, believing that Rachel, one way or another, caused the storm that appears in the first game. Yet Rachel's powers are never explained or even hinted at throughout the rest of the season. Maybe the devs added those wind effects for dramatic effect and everyone simply misinterpreted it into thinking Rachel had powers. Seems pretty stupid since there are no other examples of the developers using game assets like wind effects to simply add to the aesthetic of a scene. So then was it purposely meant to add to the mass confusion in questions? Why did Max get time powers in the first game? Was it simply destiny in order to save Chloe from dying in the girls' room? That would reinforce the butterfly effect theory in that the storm is a consequence for rewriting time and stopping Chloe from dying when she was supposed to. If Max's powers only manifested to save Chloe, then does she keep her powers after the ending of the first season? If it is destiny, then the theory of Rachel having powers is mute. Who or what do the spirit animals represent? In the first game, the doe is clearly Rachel's soul guiding Max, but who does the Raven represent? Playing through the second game had me convinced that Chloe was the Raven, a trickster spirit who unintentionally changes and shapes the world around her. But if Chloe is the Raven and Rachel's the doe, is Max the butterfly? The amount of unknown is just so sprawling it feels like it was designed to give you a migraine. But the theories are just one slice of this con pie. The selling point of the original Life is Strange was creating a story-based game that had impactful decisions that alter the path of the player's experience heavily, and being able to meditate on and even reverse time to change those decisions. With other popular story-based games, decisions were commonly fixed. Once a decision was made, there was no going back. Unless you restarted the game, of course, which a lot of people actually did.
Now it's time to finish the job. Goodbye, Archibald.
Why are you doing this?
Because my master told me to. King Dragon sends his regards.
Oh, fuck this. Fuck this. Let's negotiate.
No thanks. King Dragon sends...
Where is Prince Horus?
I don't know. King Dragon... It's a good thing I always carried 2 guns.
Okay.
Sometimes there were timers on especially critical decisions, like in Telltale Games' popular IPs like The Walking Dead games and The Wolf Among Us. This was done purposely so that the player would go with their gut and not overthink a decision, resulting in a completely natural and primal reaction. And to Don't Nod's credit, they got one of those things right. They did create a mechanic to go back and change decisions, as well as give players unlimited time to contemplate what they wanted to decide. But as far as writing complex and difficult arguments for players to side with that will have consequences later and alter the ending, well, they didn't do so good on that part. Let's just clarify. Life is Strange is not a video game. It's actually just a TV show that occasionally pauses and you have to hit the resume button on your remote. They just simply give you the privilege to press the button in your own way. The Walking Dead is a video game. There are enemies. You have to avoid them. You can get a game over. Life is Strange tried this towards the end of the first season with the final dream sequence, but it's bland. It's boring. There's nothing happening. There is no narrative. No progress is being made in the plot. It's just a minigame. In The Walking Dead, action sequences make progress. The characters move to different areas. Some characters even die in these scenes because of your choices. In Season 2, Deck 9 doesn't even attempt to convince you it's still a video game. Instead, there's a Dungeons and Dragons segment where you get to pretend to roleplay as Chloe, pretending to roleplay as a D&D character. This 10-minute pseudo mini game has no weight whatsoever on the story. Not to mention, the idea of a prequel makes no sense considering the entire point of the first game was implementing the rewind mechanic, and Chloe doesn't even have the power to do that. Deck 9 gutted the original gimmick of being able to change your choices. Now we get backtalk minigames. games, where you essentially roll dice just to take one of two paths. Either Chloe convinces another character with quick wits and gets what she wants, or doesn't. These minigames are also timed. What? For the most part, both games deceived me into thinking I was actually choosing my own path and ending. But then I reached the end of the original game where I was left with only two options. Restart the entire game and let Chloe die in the girls' room, or kill every other character in Arcadia Bay and run away with a toddler in the body of a 19-year-old. Sacrificing the Bay only leads to more questions. Where do Max and Chloe go? What are they gonna do? What's going to happen to Arcadia Bay now? The audacity that Donut had to only include two endings that eradicate each and every micro decision the player makes throughout the 5-episode thick season was so jarring I initially thought it was an Andy Kaufman-like joke. The joke is, you wasted all this time thinking it was an actual story with a purpose, and that what you did had consequences and rewards.
A big, elaborate joke that's only funny to two people in the universe. You and you.
And we happen to think that it's hilarious.
It's a lot funnier when you're on the other side of these jokes. Obviously, it's not all bad. There's no way I would spend over 30 hours watching something I didn't like, even ironically. The scenes in the swimming pool, Rachel's bedroom, the walk home from the play, Chloe daring Max to kiss her, the train ride were so charming and rewarding. Just exploring the world and looking at things isn't anything special. You click on an object or a character and you get a line. But along with the journal entries, the depth far exceeds what you expect. These characters think and feel a lot. They're angry, they're happy, they're sad. It's a window into a person's most deep and personal thoughts, and you naturally begin to empathize with them. Playing in the Tempest and making decisions on stage was easily the most fun I've had in both games. Chloe not knowing her lines and hating Rachel for getting her into that situation, and Rachel saving Chloe from embarrassment by improvising new lines was hilarious. But then things get serious. Rachel goes totally off script. Is she still acting or subliminally trying to tell Chloe something? Now the player decides if Chloe tries improvising her way back to the script or to play along with Rachel. Make the right choice here, and the player is rewarded with lines that further dissect who Rachel really is and why she's taken interest in Chloe. I'm sure anyone could nitpick and criticize these moments and show just how stupid they really are, but it won't make me hate it.
You can't choose who you love. Which is true, but it doesn't mean it's good.
I personally don't like stories that leave the ending up to the viewer's interpretation. I enjoy hearing the author's story and the message that he or she wants to give. But sometimes these stories do it right and provoke engaging conversations amongst people that help them learn more about one another. However, Life is Strange leaves so much up to the player that it's overwhelming. I remember going to see a movie with one of my friends and her family. We'll just call her Starfire. Pretty sure it was a Marvel movie. I don't know which one specifically. I just remembered not liking it as much as Starfire did. After the movie, we got into a pretty heated argument on the quality of the film. I was trying to find plot holes in the story, explaining why I thought certain scenes didn't make any sense. Some characters felt totally irrelevant. Even just saying that one thing or another was just stupid. I didn't back up my reason with evidence. I just said I felt it was stupid. The movie hadn't personally ruined my night in any way. I didn't have a vendetta out to Marvel. I was frustrated that Starfire enjoyed the movie so much when I knew for a fact that it wasn't a perfect movie. She also knew this movie wasn't going to win any Oscars, but her reasoning for why she enjoyed the movie comes full circle for my situation with Life is Strange. She said that regardless of how bad I may think a movie is, I will always enjoy it more if I just buy into it. You don't have to take it seriously, you just have to agree to not be actively looking for flaws. A few of my friends are quite big fans of the Marvel movies, and they have tried explaining to me why they liked those movies so much, but I was too busy being an overcritical smartass who thought he knew how to make a movie better than anybody. Nobody likes that guy. Don't be friends with him. Both of my friends agreed that it's the characters, the heroes. People can't help but get attached to the characters in the almost episodic movie franchise. Viewers spend so much time watching those characters struggle, fail, and succeed. In a way, it's almost nostalgic. I know that that is the entire reason I enjoyed Life is Strange so much. Life is Strange has become a significant part of my life over the past year, influencing my thoughts on games, movies, friendships, even the way I dress. It's a guilty pleasure I'm happy to see go, much like my Zootopia fad. But this time it feels a little more bittersweet, because I realized how much I depended on just thinking about these characters, their personal health, and buying into the idea that they've got it much worse than I do, even if they aren't real.
That's how I feel.
I was planning on just having a playthrough of the second season and to slowly funnel all my thoughts about the games into those videos, but this essay format saved me a lot of time. It was either this or fanfiction. These two fantastic reviews are what got me to finally write everything out and get all I wanted to say off my chest. It feels like a proper goodbye to this parasite that's been corrupting my mind for the past year and a half. Maybe now I'll stop nagging my friends about Life is Strange and irrelevantly bringing it up in conversations because I just so badly wanted them to be as interested in it as I was. It's not the game I hate. It's not the plot convenient time travel. Not the unfathomable amount of embarrassing teen slang from 2009.
You got hella cash.
It wasn't the pointless theories. Not the mundane indie hipster soundtrack. Or the poorly written characters.
I'm feeling pretty alpha now.
I hated that I loved all of it.